I'm just going to start by asking you. Who in here has ever had like any negative thoughts ever in your life at all?
No, not me.
Nope.
Have you ever been in a bad situation where you just felt like you couldn't get out of it? Any? Come on, everybody has. Alright? So sometimes we get to a point where we have a problem and it's just so deeply rooted that we just feel like it's impossible to get rid of. And we've all made mistakes, we've all messed up. Sometimes that can be the root of the thoughts. You never know. But there is a way to get rid of these negative thoughts. I mean, your negative thoughts might be, my hair's not good enough today. You might be suicidal, you might be in depression and something like that. But there is a way to overcome these stuff, okay? So first we're going to start by turning to Psalm 107, 23 through 30. I just dropped my pen. Okay. So pretty much in this psalm, what's happening is God's people got themselves in trouble. I feel like they're always doing that in the Bible, but I guess we can't blame them because we're doing the same thing. But when this certain part that I'm doing, 23 through 30, we're going to read it right now. Some went out onto the sea in ships. They were merchants on the mighty waters, so they worked on the water. They saw the works of the Lord, his wonderful deeds in the deep. For he spoke and stirred up a tempest that lifted high the waves. So God started a storm in the waters. They mounted up to the heavens and went down to the depth. In their peril, their courage melted away. They reeled and staggered like drunkards. They were at their wits' end. Then they cried out to the Lord in their trouble, and he brought them out of their distress. He stilled the storm to a whisper. The waves of the sea were hushed. They were glad when it grew calm, and he guided them to their desired haven. So pretty much what's happening here is that God starts this storm, and these people, they're on a boat, stuck in a storm, on a boat. So there's really nowhere for them to run away, because, they're surrounded by water. They're going really high whenever it says that they mounted up to the heavens and went down to the depths. That pretty much signifies how much the boat was rocking up and down. So these people were in a pretty tough situation. How are they going to get out of this? So, and then it says that they reeled and staggered like drunkards. They were at their wits' end. So that means they could barely even stand up with all this stuff. Their minds were they were going crazy because they were probably exhausted. They were probably tired. Well, that's the same thing. But they probably were fearful. Just all this stuff's happening. And so then they cried out to the Lord in their trouble. So what do? They asked God to help them. They asked God to get them out of their trouble. And guess what happens after that? He stilled the storms, and he guided them to their desired haven. So God came through just like he always will, and he always has. So this just kind of signifies whenever we're having these negative thoughts, whenever we're having these rough times in our life, we just have to ask God. We just have to ask him to be there with us so that we can be comforted, so that we are encouraged, so that we can just have faith that we're going to get out of this, Because obviously if God can stop the storm, he can stop our storms. So we're just going to move on to Psalm 107:31, so you don't even have to move anywhere. Okay. Let them give thanks to the Lord for his unfailing love and his wonderful deeds for mankind. So pretty much what happened was they thanked God after he helped them. I'm sure we've all asked God for something. We've all we're just in a hard time. God, please get me out of this. I just don't want to deal with this anymore.
Right.
Do you ever, after the fact, do you ever think about, wow, that just happened. I'm out of that. Well, did you think to thank God? Did you think to do that? We have to, we're not going to be able to get out of this stuff without him. So once we do, don't forget what just happened and thank the Lord.
That's good.
And he deserves to be thanked anyway because he's God. He created the world. And something I did notice in just all of Psalm 107, which you should go read. It was pretty cool. It mentioned 4 different times that God pulled them out of their distress when they cried out to him.
That's good.
Which is why my title for this is Cry Out Unto the Lord. Yeah. And then it also mentions 5 different times that either we should thank God or that they thank God. And so it kind of shows that they were faithful to him, and he was faithful to them also. So we're going to move on to 2 Chronicles 18:30 through 32. This is about Jehoshaphat. Isn't that a great name? Okay. So what's happening here? Jehoshaphat, he's the king of Judah. I thought you were lifting that thing to me, and I was like, wait, is that for me? Jehoshaphat was the king of Judah, and he was allied with Ahab, the king of Israel. And somehow he got, like, the king of Israel convinced him to help him in a war against Ramoth Gilead. Yeah. So Jehoshaphat was with the king of Israel in this war, and the people of Ramoth Gilead, they were sent out to only kill the king of Israel by the person that's in charge of Ramoth Gilead. And so, but Jehoshaphat, they thought that he was the king of Israel. They mistook him for the other king, and so therefore they were about to start going after him, about to try and kill him. And so, what would you do in that situation whenever someone's about to come kill you and you're not who they think you are? Well, the only thing he really could do was cry out to the Lord. And what did the Lord do? He helped him. He drew the people away from him. Oh wait, I need to read this to y'all. Now the king of Aram had ordered his chariot commanders, do not fight with anyone, small or great, except for the king of Israel. That's what I was trying to get at. They were instructed to get the king of Israel, not Jehoshaphat. When the chariot commanders saw Jehoshaphat, they thought, this is the king of Israel. So they turned to attack him, but Jehoshaphat cried out, and the Lord helped him. God drew them away from him. For when the chariot commanders saw that he was not the king of Israel, they stopped pursuing him. So therefore, God helped them. So obviously, God is capable of saving us because he was able to stop things like calming storms, stopping warriors from killing his faithful people. And so what makes him any less capable to stop our storms, to stop people from pursuing us, you know? Is that the right word? Anyway, well, pretty much nothing can stop him from doing that. All we have to do is all we have to do to get rid of the negativity in our lives and the bad thoughts is to pray. We just have to cry out to the Lord, really press into him and cry out to the Lord. I hope you take that into your everyday life.